Dr. James Elder serves as the pastor of the First Baptist Church in Columbus. He's a former trustee of the university, and Dr. Elder played an instrumental role in creating clinical opportunities for our students in Columbus. Would you please remain standing for the invocation to be brought by Dr. Elder?
Thank you, President Underwood. This is an awesome day. Will you bow with me as we share a prayer together? Lord, when you created us in your image, you breathed your own breath into us. You gave us the ability to learn and to grow and develop, but you also gave us both ability and responsibility for compassion and grace and love, and to seek out and fulfill a mission with our lives that can make the world a better place. Before you stand individuals who have made a significant investment in their lives. They have made an investment in following the mission to change a world, to make health care better, and to offer compassion and grace and love, sometimes a shoulder, but always wisdom, in the lives of those in need. We pray your blessings upon them and blessings upon this moment. May we feel the celebration of heaven even as we celebrate here. Open doors for them, protect them, and bless them in every possible way. Thank you for an institution that cares, that has a mission beyond just education. And thank you for faculty who pour their very souls into these students. In your precious name, we offer our prayer with gratitude. Amen.
Please be seated. On behalf of the more than 70,000 living graduates, nearly 9,000 students, more than 1,500 faculty and staff of Mercer University, as well as the Board of Trustees of the university, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this commencement ceremony for the School of Medicine. Graduation inevitably serves as an enduring reference point for one's life and career. Being among the most formal events in the academic world, commencement not only marks the successful completion of rigorous scholarly requirements, but it also marks the achievement of some very deeply held personal ambitions that have guided these students for years. Reaching this day has been a long journey. To those who are graduating today, this ceremony is a tribute to your discipline, to your will, to your energy, and to your willingness to subordinate more immediate pleasures in order to achieve distant, long-term, and very meaningful goals. So on behalf of my colleagues, I offer to you the university's high commendation for your work. For most of you, the degree today will be your final academic degree. It is the completion of a journey that began for many of you more than 20 years ago. With our genuine congratulations, we remind you that education alone will not bring the goodness, the richness, the depth for which you have been striving. You must continue to raise questions and search for understanding. You must continue to give of yourself generously, using your talents and engaging your relationships with integrity. While you celebrate today what you have already learned, the most important lessons are yet to be learned. So keep learning alive. To the parents, friends, spouses, and relatives of these graduates, we also offer our congratulations. It has been your support, your devotion, and your counsel that have enabled these students who are graduating to achieve their goals. We thank you for caring and giving, for encouraging and embracing them. This is a much better day and a higher celebration because you're here with us. Dr. Gene Sumner, Dean of the School of Medicine and Professor of Internal Medicine, will now bring greetings on behalf of the School of Medicine. Dr. Sumner.
On behalf of the School of Medicine, I welcome you to this celebration of accomplishment and to the awarding of the degrees Master of Family Therapy, Master of Science in Preclinical Sciences, Master of Science in the Biomedical Sciences, and Doctor of Medicine. This has been an exciting year for the medical school. The school has maintained its mission and its national reputation. The class of 2017 is the 32nd class of physicians to graduate from Mercer University School of Medicine. Mercer doctors now number over 1,700, and most importantly, of the over 1,200 physicians from Mercer who have finished residency, over 80% of these graduates are serving this state. They are serving Georgia. This is something truly to be proud of, and these are all things to appreciate. These accomplishments as well as the preparation of all graduates here today would not be possible without a team effort. I would like to ask the faculty and staff of the School of Medicine to stand and to accept my thanks and the thanks of the graduates for your efforts, contributions that bring us all together to this celebration today. Please stand. Thank you. Today's medical and healthcare requires teamwork, collaboration, mutual respect, and the combined skills and expertise of a variety of health professionals. Master of Family Therapy, Master of Science in Preclinical Sciences, Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences, and graduates are professionals who dedicate themselves to providing and improving the health of families and the public, either as therapists, educators, researchers, or administrators in these roles. They will work with physicians as part of the healthcare team. Our medical graduates become physicians today, dedicated to improving the health of the people they serve. They assume a privileged social role as healer, comforter, confidant, advocate for their patients' needs and for the communities and the health of the public. All of these graduates are beginning their careers in a time when our nation and our state are experiencing significant challenges to assure that everyone has access to quality health care. Georgia and our nation are counting on these graduates to uphold their duty to their profession and to join forces with other professionals in the honorable effort to serve others, to address health disparities and the needs of the medically underserved in this state. These graduates never really leave the Mercer family. They simply extend the reach of that family through their work and through the influence they will have on the lives they touch in the months and years ahead. Today is a day for the graduates. Thank you for helping make it a very special day.
Dr. Jack Powell serves as chair of the School of Medicine's Board of Governors for the Macon campus. Dr. Powell will now bring greetings on behalf of the board.
On behalf of the Board of Governors of the School of Medicine, I will extend a warm welcome to our graduates as well as their family and friends who have come here today to witness this memorable event. Over these past years, you have acquired great knowledge about the science and theory of medicine and health care. Now you're about to enter the real world where the mantle of practical responsibility will come to rest upon your shoulders. In the next few years, you will become teachers instead of students, leaders instead of followers, and givers instead of receivers. As a result of your education, you will be able to provide comfort in a time of pain, hope in a time of fear, and guidance for many of the patients experience life's trials and tribulations. I urge you to remember that the relationship between a physician and his or her patient is one of personal service. Service is also paramount for all of our healthcare providers and researchers. Never lose perspective of this fact. Remember that each patient is a unique individual with hopes, dreams, and fears that demand your respect and concern. I urge you to practice humility and to remember the many sacrifices made by your family and supporters that have allowed you to be here today. From the board to the family and friends of the graduates, I give you our thanks for your support throughout these years. To the graduates, I give you our congratulations. But please remember, there's nothing that I or anyone else can say here today that will equal the appreciation that you'll receive from those thousands of people whose lives you will touch in future years. Thank you.
Mr. Curtis Lewis has served as a member of the Mercer University Board of Trustees. He currently serves as chair of Memorial Health's board as well as a member of the Board of Governors for the School of Medicine's Savannah campus. Mr. Lewis will now bring greetings on behalf of the board.
Thank you, President Underwood. The Board of Governors of Mercer University School of Medicine in Savannah would like to welcome the family and friends of each graduate. With the support of each of you attending this ceremony, these students have succeeded in making it through a rigorous curriculum to obtain their degrees. Today marks the beginning of a wonderful journey. You have chosen a profession that never rests in its quest to improve patient care and how that care is rendered. Just look at how medicine has progressed since the early 19th century, when the average lifespan in the U.S. was 47 years of age. You are all aware of the advances since that time, and I assure you the next 100 years will be even more dramatic. Just remember, as long as the well-being of your patient is kept as the central focus, yours can be one of the most rewarding of careers. With your choice of Mercer, you verified a commitment to help others in areas of our state that need your talents. As a result of your education, you will provide hope, humility, and comfort for those lives you touch. As a member of the Board of Governors, I congratulate each of you, including your families, and sincerely hope that you attain the best that life has to offer. Congratulations, graduates.
Our special music is presented by Joy Elise Moat. Miss Moat is a junior in the university's Townsend School of Music, majoring in performance.
Who
Thank you, Joy. Mrs. Maggie Gill has served as President and Chief Executive Officer at Memorial Health throughout the period when these graduates have studied in the School of Medicine. She also serves as a trustee of the university. We are grateful for Maggie's strong support of the School of Medicine and for her service to the university. Maggie will introduce today's speaker.
Thank you, President Underwood. It is my pleasure to introduce today's speaker. Dr. Peter Scardino is a Savannah native and member of the Mercer University School of Medicine Board of Governors, Savannah campus. He serves as chair of the Department of Surgery at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in New York City, where he leads a department that is nationally recognized for its expertise and innovation in cancer surgery. In addition to his administrative responsibilities, he is a surgeon specializing in the early detection, prognosis, and treatment of prostate cancer. In 2001, Dr. Scardino received a National Institutes of Health grant to establish an ongoing specialized program of research excellence, SPORE, in prostate cancer at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. SPORE has been an ambitious research program focused on developing therapies appropriate for patients with different types of prostate cancer at different stages of development. Dr. Scardino's position at Memorial Sloan Kettering includes appointments as the head of Prostate Cancer Program, a member in the Sloan Kettering's Institute of Molecular Pharmacology Program, and the incumbent of the David H. Coach Chair. He is also a professor in the Department of Urology at Weill Cornell Medical College and SUNY Downstate Medical Center. Whew. Dr. Scardino has written many articles and book chapters and edited the comprehensive textbook of Geratuno, I'm not going to say it right, in 2005, with Judith Kelman, he wrote Dr. Peter Scardino's prostate book. He serves as editor-in-chief of Nature Clinical Practice Urology, and he is an editorial board member and reviewer for several peer-reviewed journals. Dr. Scardino is an active member of the National Academy's Institute of Medicine and of the American Urological Association. He received his Bachelor of Arts degree from Yale University and his MD degree from Duke University School of Medicine. We are honored to have Dr. Peter Scardino address the Mercer University School of Medicine class of 2017. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Scardino.
Ms. Gill, thank you very much for that gracious introduction and for the outstanding work you do leading Memorial Medical Center in Savannah. So I'm honored to have you introduce me for this wonderful occasion. President Underwood, Provost Davis, Dean Sumner, members of the board, faculty and staff of Mercer University, family and friends of the graduates. What an honor it is for me to be here with you today. Let me begin by congratulating the students who, at long last, and to the great delight of their families, are finally graduating from school. I may seem like a strange choice to be your graduation speaker. I was raised in Georgia and still have roots here. My daughter, in fact, and her family live in Savannah, around the corner from where I grew up. But I left for college at 18 and never moved back. For the past 20 years, I've been a citizen of New York City, living and working in the heart of Manhattan. You, on the other hand, are Georgians, Georgia residents, and are completing your education in Georgia on the Mercer campuses in Macon, Savannah, or Columbus. Of the medical graduates, many will do your residency training in Georgia, and even more will settle in Georgia and devote your professional lives to serving your fellow citizens, some as primary care physicians, others as specialists. I, on the other hand, am what you might call a subspecialist. I'm a surgeon, a urologist who focuses on one single disease, prostate cancer. Still, whatever our differences in specialty or geography, we do have in common a dedication to healing. Those of you who will embark on careers as physicians, as well as those earning a master's degree on the way to eventual careers in medicine, biomedical research, or family therapy, join me in our deep commitment to the care of our fellow human beings, to the eradication of disease, and to the promotion of good health. The only thing that really separates us is time. I graduated from medical school 46 years ago. Looking back over that long span, I'd like to tell you about a few life-altering experiences that taught me some important truths about life in the healing arts. I'll begin back in high school. After my junior year, I was accepted to a National Science Foundation-sponsored summer school at the Worcester Foundation for Experimental Biology in Massachusetts. We were assigned complex laboratory experiments required to keep meticulous records and became immersed in science. With this intense preliminary training, a few of us were invited back for a second summer as research assistants at the foundation. I worked in the lab of a firm but gentle Scandinavian scientist studying the chemical basis for neuromotor control of the iris sphincter muscle of the eye. My job was to travel to the local slaughterhouse to collect eyes from cows sacrificed to our taste for beef, quickly transport them back to the lab on ice, dissect out the irises, place them in a strain gauge in a bath of nutrients to measure their contractions and generate dose-response curves to various neurotransmitters. It was hard, meticulous, detailed, repetitive work. I learned from that experience how laborious research can be, what an enormous effort it takes to learn something new, no matter how tiny, about biology. Over the years, I've learned to respect the differences between research and clinical care. Research requires infinite patience, while clinical care often provides immediate gratification. My wife, Judith, who's here with me today, is something of an orchid whisperer. It strikes me that medical research is not unlike growing rare orchids, a delicate process requiring constant nurturing, just the right amount of water, soil nutrients, temperature, and sunshine that more often ends in failure than success. Research is hard, but it's the only way we have to discover the treatments of tomorrow. Even if you do not pursue a career in research yourself, I urge you to think like a scientist. Be skeptical of what you're told. Read the literature for yourself. Look at the evidence. Consider it carefully to form your own opinion. Edgar Allan Poe warned that you should believe about 1/10 of what you hear, about 1/4 of what you read, and only about half of what you actually see. As a first-year medical student at Duke, I spent a summer in a mission hospital on the eastern coast of Nicaragua. My fellow students and I tried to help with the people's staggering need for care in remote villages. Traveling through the jungle by boat, we would hold free voluntary clinics for people of all ages, dispensing digitalysis for the old man with heart failure, vitamins for little babies and pregnant women, diuretics for people with hypertension. But the critical problem these people faced was the high childhood mortality rate from bacterial diarrhea when the children were weaned from their mother's breast milk and exposed to heavily contaminated drinking water. The only available fresh water was from open holes in the ground, exposed to the nearby dung of dogs, chicken, pigs, and even other children. We were able to grow Salmonella, Shigella, and enteropathic E. coli from the children's stool samples and directly from their drinking water. That summer I learned we have to look more deeply to find out what people actually need before deciding what's best for them. It wasn't pills for chronic diseases, but clean drinking water and safe wells that these people really needed. It's been said, if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. There's a tendency for us to offer patients what we're familiar with, what we're good at, what we have right at hand, rather than what they actually need. When I was a brand new surgical intern in Boston, I was on call in the ICU one night when a nurse came to me to report that a patient seems to be struggling against his ventilator. His O2 saturation was dropping, and she asked me, how would I like to adjust the settings? I took a look at the ventilator and quickly realized I had no idea. I thought for a minute and then asked her, well, what would you recommend? She said she'd increase the tidal volume a bit and the respiratory rate and see if that resolved the problem. Of course it did. She was a senior, experienced ICU nurse, and she knew ventilator management cold. That night I made a new friend, not only with her, but with the other ICU nurses. Baseball great Yogi Berra said, you can see a lot by just looking. I found out that you can also learn a lot by just asking. Nurses, physical therapists, emergency medical technicians, and other healthcare professionals may have fewer years of education than you, but many of them have a world of practical experience that they're ready to share with you if you give them a chance. In medicine, it truly takes a team with a common commitment to our most important value, the best care for the patient who's right in front of you. Among the many lessons I learned as a surgical resident, one particular experience stands out. A few hours after surgery, a patient with a fresh tracheostomy coughed up her trach tube. I had never replaced a tracheostomy tube, so I asked the PACU nurse if she would please reassemble it, and then with considerable trepidation, I gently reinserted it and reconnected it to the ventilator. That worked, so I went back to my usual busy night, attending to the other patients. The next morning on rounds with the chief resident, when I described the episode, the chief resident was furious that he had heard nothing about it. He demanded to know if I realized the potentially fatal consequences of a dislodged trach tube in the early postoperative period. I was mortified by my ignorance. After rounds, a senior resident took me aside and said, look, you got away with it, but you should have let us know immediately. What if you couldn't replace it or she coughed it up again? Don't ever forget the fighter pilot's motto. The fighter pilot's motto, when about to be attacked, fly in formation. The takeaway message, always communicate with your team. If there's bad news, make sure your team hears about it quickly and directly from you, not from someone else. The philosopher Voltaire wrote, perfect is the enemy of good. We all want to do the best we can and avoid mistakes, especially when it comes to our patients. But no matter how hard you try, you will sometimes mess up. When I was a urology resident in California, I was sent to do a prostate biopsy that was done in those days with a large bore needle biopsy straight through the perineum. Maybe the medical students can explain that to the visitors after the ceremony. The first step was to anesthetize the area with an injection of lidocaine, so I drew up the liquid in the jar on the table and was surprised when the patient immediately complained of pain way out of proportion to the thin needle I was using. When I tried the injection again, the patient shouted even louder, and the OR tech looked over and said, oh my gosh, what you're actually injecting is the formaldehyde from the jar for the biopsy specimen. We immediately admitted the poor man for pain control, and I watched, humiliated over the next few days as the skin in the area necrosed and had to be debrided. I apologized and tried to explain my mistake to the patient and his family as I dressed his wounds several times a day until it finally healed. To my surprise, he was remarkably understanding and forgiving. I wish I could say that was my only medical mistake, but in my long professional career, I've had other bad outcomes, some of which I caused and some of which were consequences of the patient's disease. Either way, I'm convinced that a posture of openness, honesty, and transparency often yields understanding and forgiveness by the patient and the family. And even if the patient is not so forgiving, a cover-up can be worse than the original mistake and makes a lawsuit that much more likely. Whatever happens, don't let your shame at making a mistake or having a bad result put distance between you and your patient. Patients will usually understand. Often the hardest person to forgive is yourself. While my daughter Liz was waiting to apply for medical school, she worked in a surgical research lab at Duke. She was studying aptamers, novel reversible anticoagulants for use in cardiopulmonary bypass. After half a dozen times assisting the surgical resident place cannulas in the aorta and vena cava of the anesthetized experimental pigs being used, the resident offered her the scalpel and asked her if she'd like to open this next case. Excited to have a chance to show her talent, Liz incised too deeply into the pig's belly, right into the small intestine in the surgical field filled with blood and intestinal contents. Liz shouted out and jumped back in horror at what she'd done, but the resident looked at her and said firmly, "Liz, stop. Don't ever do that again. Get hold of yourself, clean up the field, and finish the experiment." When Liz told me the story, I was reminded of the line from Kipling's poem, "If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, then yours is the earth and everything that's in it." I'm sure you've had many of your own teachable moments during medical school. You'll likely have many more during your training. May you have a great teacher, as Liz did, who transforms your catastrophe into a positive learning experience. And may you too become a teacher to your colleagues, staff, family, friends, and patients. You've had a great education. Share your knowledge and experience whenever you can. As a young surgeon in Houston, I became chief of urology at Baylor College of Medicine, while two previous chiefs were still on the faculty. Instead of isolating or ignoring them, I turned to them as mentors and advisors and learned a great deal about leadership. A few months after I had become chief, one of the senior faculty members who had been at Baylor much longer than I had and who often disagreed with me, stormed into the office of the previous chief to complain about a decision I'd made. My predecessor calmly responded, "I understand how you feel, but in our system, the chief makes these decisions. You'll have to go talk to Dr. Scardino." My advice to you, seek out mentors and advisors and listen to them, but make your own decisions. And as your career develops, be a willing mentor to others. I've been a department chair for nearly 30 years, and I'm at the tail end of my career. With no regrets, I've stopped performing surgery and stepped aside from major administrative responsibility. As I look back, I realize that work can be alluring. In fact, it can be all-consuming. It certainly has been for me. But I've also learned how important it is to take care of yourself. Burnout is all too common among physicians. Some 35% of medical doctors develop signs or symptoms of burnout by mid-career. To stay on the right side of that statistic, make sure you have balance in your life. You need the love of family and friends and interest beyond medicine to keep you passionate and engaged. Take care of yourself so that you have the emotional endurance for a lifetime of caring of others. Thank you again for the privilege of sharing this happy day with you, and congratulations to all the graduates.
I think I learn best from my mistakes. I think if I last and survive enough of them, I'll probably acquire the wisdom to be good at what I do. Thank you, Dr. Scardino, for sharing the wisdom acquired through many years of experience and, yes, some mistakes. Thank you very much. It's now my pleasure to present the Griffin B. Bell Award for Community Service. This is the only university award to recognize a student chosen from among all 12 of Mercer's schools and colleges. Judge Griffin B. Bell served as a judge on the powerful United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit, the court charged with implementing and enforcing throughout the South the United States Supreme Court's decision in Brown versus Board of Education. Later, he served as Attorney General of the United States during the administration of President Jimmy Carter. He was a renowned statesman and public servant who was committed to his profession, his country, and his family. He was also committed to his alma mater, Mercer University, working tirelessly to ensure that the university emerged among the leading universities in the country. In the intervening 6 decades between his graduation from Mercer Law School and his death, he gave generously of his time and effort to the university. One of his most valuable contributions to the institution was his leadership as a Mercer trustee and board chair. Today, we honor Matthew Mackenzie Carman as the 2017 recipient of the Griffin B. Bell Award. I ask that Matthew Carman join me here at the platform. Mr. Carman exemplifies the attributes of community service and professionalism represented by the Griffin Bell Award for Community Service, as he's been actively involved with numerous community service organizations. He's been committed to the Miracle League of Macon that provides children with mental and/or physical challenges an opportunity to play baseball. He has also been engaged in mentoring in healthcare and served in the Macon Volunteer Clinic. He's been actively engaged with Habitat for Humanity, the Methodist Home, and the Loaves and Fishes Ministry. Mr. Carman's passion for running, biking, and swimming led him to work with My Team Triumph, a national nonprofit organization that helps enrich the health and well-being of individuals with disabilities by promoting teamwork through endurance athletics. Mr. Carman's philosophy is that medical students are given a platform to serve and a natural instinct to help others. As long as we are able and capable, he says, we should not ignore that. Matthew Carman, you have demonstrated the true meaning of community service while your years have passed as a student at Mercer University School of Medicine. You've improved the lives of others through your dedication and commitment. Now, in recognition of your service to the community, it is my privilege to hereby present to you the Griffin B. Bell Award for Community Service. Dean Sumner will now announce the McAfee and Medical School Awards.
Parth Desai, will you please join President Underwood at the podium? The James T. McAfee Jr. Endowed Vision and Leadership Scholarship Fund recognizes outstanding leadership abilities of a junior, a senior, or a graduate student. Mercer has 4 recipients of the McAfee Award this year. One is recognized today at this ceremony. Mr. Desai is an exemplary example of the leadership qualities required for the McAfee Scholarship. He established a nonprofit organization, ICD-10 Charts Incorporated, which provides software for medical practices and hospitals. He was awarded 2 grants totaling over $100,000, which helped to extend the availability of the software. He works tirelessly to aid the healthcare industry during its time of need, and by 2016, He had successfully reached more than 80,000 medical personnel nationwide. Forbes magazine described Mr. Desai as a brilliant and dedicated medical student. He has volunteered at free clinics in India and assisted earthquake victims in Nepal. Mr. Desai's leadership, creativity, and example make him a worthy recipient of the James T. McAfee Jr. Endowed Vision and Leadership Scholarship.
Parth Desai, dedicated, creative, and committed leader, it is my privilege to hereby name you as a recipient of the James T. McAfee Jr. Endowed Vision and Leadership Scholarship, in token of which I present to you this citation.
While all physicians are expected to be knowledgeable, it is compassionate and humanistic care of the patient that distinguishes the finest physicians. The Arnold P. Gold Foundation Leonard Toe Humanism in Medicine Awards have been established to recognize and honor graduating medical students and faculty members who have demonstrated the highest standard of compassion and sensitivity in their interactions with patients. We are honored to present the Leonard Toe Humanism Award in Medicine today. Kristen Kettlehut and Ekta Berry, please join President Underwood at the podium. Mercer University School of Medicine has selected Kristen Kettlehut and Ekta Berry as the 2017 student recipients of the Leonard Toe Humanism in Medicine Award. Kristen Kettlehut consistently demonstrates compassion, empathy, and professionalism in relating to colleagues, teachers, and patients. She has served as president of Mercer Services, an organization that coordinates service learning among our medical students. She has served as student project coordinator for the Distinction in Service to the Community Committee, founded the annual Service Leadership Conference, and has earned the Distinction in Service to the Community for her exemplary service record. Her outstanding work ethic, dependability, and compassion for patients resulted in high praise from her classmates, residents, and attendings on every clerkship. This resulted in her induction into the Gold Humanism Honor Society in 2016. Kristen begins residency training in family medicine at Midtown Regional Medical Center in Columbus in July. Ekta Berry has consistently demonstrated compassion, empathy, and professionalism in all her encounters with patients. Ekta is an active participant in community service activities. She received funding from Alpha Omega Alpha National Medical Honor Society, which allowed Mercer students to continue health screenings at Forsyth Farmers Market in Savannah. She created and implemented a program focused on encouraging elementary students in underserved areas to pursue careers in medicine. The project, entitled Science and Health, Academic Preparation for Higher Education, has earned Ekta the Distinction in Service to the Community recognition. She has provided leadership and more than 120 service hours to this project. Ekta served as the president of the Neurology Interest Group and secretary of the Pediatric Interest Group. In recognition of her service to Mercer and the Savannah communities, she was inducted into the Gold Humanism Honor Society in 2016. Ekta begins residency training in pediatric neurology at Emory University in July. The Leonard Toe Humanism in Medicine Award is fitting for Kristen Kettlehut and Ekta Berry, who have repeatedly demonstrated compassion and respect for others.
Kristen Kettlehut and Ekta Berry, you have demonstrated the highest standard of academic achievement as well as an uncommon dedication and sensitivity to your patients. It is my privilege, therefore, to present to you the Student Humanism in Medicine Award. Congratulations.
The Mercer University School of Medicine class of 2017 has selected Dr. John Meadows and Dr. David Carney as the faculty recipients of the Leonard Toe Humanism in Medicine Award. Dr. Meadows, please join President Underwood at the podium. Unfortunately, Dr. Carney is unable to join us today, but we congratulate him, though he is absent. Dr. John Meadows was born and raised in Macon. He graduated from Georgia Tech with a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry and received his medical doctorate degree from the Medical College of Georgia. After completing a family medicine internship at the Medical Center of Central Georgia, he entered the United States Air Force, where he practiced aerospace medicine with the 334th Tactical Fighter Squadron, logging over 100 hours in the F-4E Phantom. He separated from the Air Force in 1988 and completed his residency in internal medicine at the Medical College of Georgia. He joined the faculty of Mercer University School of Medicine in 1991 and currently serves as an associate professor of medicine with the Department of Internal Medicine. He has won numerous teaching awards from both Mercer University School of Medicine students and internal medicine residents. He has a special interest in the interpretation of electrocardiograms and each year teaches medical students in an EKG elective course. He is a firm believer in teaching at the bedside and is a gifted physician in the art of physical diagnosis and history taking. He feels strongly that the history and physical exam also allows him to connect to his patient, and he relays this to his students. Dr. Meadows brings to mind a quote from Sir William Osler: "Every patient you see is a lesson in much more than the malady from which he suffers." The Leonard Toe Humanism in Medicine Award is fitting for Dr. Meadows and Dr. Carney, who have committed both service and time in the medical profession.
Dr. John Meadows, caring educator and physician, it is my privilege to hereby present to you the Leonard Toe Faculty Humanism in Medicine Award. Congratulations.
President Underwood, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Master of Family Therapy. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Family Therapy please stand? These candidates have been recommended by their faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees, and I now request that you confer upon them the degree of Master of Family Therapy.
Upon the recommendation of the Dean and the faculty of the Master of Therapy program, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the university, it is my privilege to hereby confer upon each of you the degree Master of Family Therapy. Congratulations to each of you. You may be seated.
President Underwood, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Preclinical Sciences. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Preclinical Sciences please stand? These candidates have been recommended by their faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees, and I now request that you confer upon them the degree of Master of Science in the Preclinical Sciences.
Upon the recommendation of the Dean and the faculty of the Master of Sciences in Preclinical Sciences program, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the university, it is my privilege to hereby confer upon each of you the degree Master of Science in Preclinical Sciences. Congratulations. Please be seated.
President Underwood, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences please stand? These candidates have been recommended by their faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees, and I now request that you confer upon them the degree of Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences.
Upon the recommendation of the Dean and of the faculty of the Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences program, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the university, it is my privilege to hereby confer upon each of you the degree Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences. Congratulations. You may be seated.
President Underwood, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine. Will the candidates for the degree Doctor of Medicine please stand? These candidates have been recommended by the faculty, approved by the Board of Trustees, and I now request that you confer upon them the degree of Doctor of Medicine.
Upon the recommendation of the Dean and the faculty of the School of Medicine, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Mercer University, it is my privilege to hereby confer upon each of you the degree Doctor of Medicine. Congratulations. You may be seated. In a moment, we will begin awarding the diplomas. It is what we have all gathered here to witness. Your son, your daughter, your spouse, your friend, your parent, walking across the stage with diploma in hand. It is truly a joyous occasion. A week from now, we will have the commencement ceremonies for the other 11 schools and colleges of the university. And at that commencement ceremony, a week from today, I will provide an admonition to those in attendance. I will remind them that this is an occasion that calls for proper respect and decorum, that appropriately reflects the importance of this major milestone in the lives of the graduates. I will remind those in attendance next week that they should hold not only their applause, but also any form of creative celebratory outburst, whether a whistle, a bell, a shout, or whatever their minds conjure up, until all the names have been read, so that each name can be heard by that graduate's friends and families, but even more importantly, so the graduates can receive their diplomas in a setting truly befitting this significant high occasion. Having order and decorum underscores the respect that these graduates have earned in completing their studies and receiving their diplomas. We want the focus of this part of the ceremony to be on them and not us. Anyway, I'll give that admonition next week. However, with you, I see no need for such an admonition. At this time, I'd invite our provost, Dr. Scott Davis, to the podium. Dr. Davis will oversee the awarding of the diplomas.
The Marshal will now conduct the Master of Family Therapy graduates to the platform to receive their diplomas from Dean Sumner. Dr. Bowden Templeton, Program Director for the Master of Family Therapy Program and Assistant Professor of Psychiatry and Behavioral Science, will present the graduates.
Rachel Alerte. Cornesia Smith Bogans. Megan Elizabeth Calderbank. Andrea Karima Cook. Mirtha Despinas. Stephanie Ann Gann. Jessica Lynn Glover. Anna Alexis Hernandez. Tara Janae Holland. Bria Danielle Jefferson. Katrina Chantel Jones. Brittany Taylor Jordan. Jordan Samantha Kerbin. Ashley Takita Lockhart. Rachel Elizabeth Lowry. Fatima Tamaz Mann. Crystal Nicole McDowell. Letitia Shadon Mitchell. Ishita Patel. Chevelle Nicole Twyman. Lindsay Ann Whitley.
Marshall will now conduct the Master of Science in Preclinical Science graduates to receive their diplomas. Dr. Susan Klein, Program Director for the Master of Science in Preclinical Sciences program and Associate Professor of Basic Medical Sciences, will present the graduates.
Michaela Umpico Alcala. Cody Michael Atkinson. Sean Paul Brooks. Grant Michael Capps. Yeshel Viral Chokshi. Stanton Matthew Davis. Alexander Carl Duggan. Ashlyn Nicole Green. Olivia Camille Harden. Kamari John Ross Harris. Dwight Johnson II. And Kita Kanwar. Anna Novakovic. Michael Chukwuemeka Wilo. Nikhil Yashwant Patel. Diana Alejandro Rios. Ryan Craig Sanders. Clayton Scott Siegel. Hannah Lynn Troyer. Chinere Ijoma Ozigwe. Olga Vakaruk. Maria Guadalupe Vasquez. Marshall Douglas Williams. Kyle Jonathan Wilson. Tiara Devon Wynn.
The Marshal will now conduct the Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences graduates to receive their diplomas. Dr. Richard McCann, Program Director for the Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences and Associate Professor of Basic Medical Sciences, will present the graduates.
Elizabeth Ann Carter. Brittany K. Hill. Terrell Jenrette. Jenny Hong Pham. Catherine Cater Thompson.
The Marshal will now conduct the Doctor of Medicine graduates for the Columbus campus to receive their diplomas. Dr. Alice House, Columbus Campus Dean, will present these graduates.
Dr. Spencer Robert Anderson. Dr. Kelly Farrell Bowman. Dr. Kirby Nicole Chisholm. Dr. James Weaver Corley IV. Dr. Shreya Reddy Gadam. Dr. Curtis Anthony Hendricks II. Dr. Samuel Parks Hughes. Dr. Matthew Mackenzie Carman. Dr. Kristen Lee Kettlehut. Dr. Carmen Elizabeth Lee. Dr. Leland Chester McCluskey, Jr. Dr. Ben No. Dr. Chidi Tori Wachuku.
The Marshal will now conduct the Doctor of Medicine graduates for the Savannah campus to receive their diplomas. Dr. Bill Bina, Savannah campus Dean, will present these graduates.
Dr. Jacob Lyndon Beltz. Dr. Ektra Indra Berry. Dr. Sharita Chantal Carmichael. Dr. Christopher Stephen Danmeyer. Dr. William John Dougal IV. Dr. Nider Faisal Ekolbani. Dr. Daniel Vernon Foster. Dr. Bradley William Harrison. Dr. Dane David Helwig. Dr. Merritt Elizabeth Galzuni. Dr. Kyle Robert Libby. Dr. Benjamin Caleb Long. Dr. Andres Ishmael Montes. Dr. Wesley Reynolds Stroud. Dr. Allison Samara Wood.
The Marshal will now conduct the Doctor of Medicine graduates for the Macon campus to receive their diplomas. Dr. Ed Grimsley, Associate Dean for Clinical Education, Macon campus, will present these graduates.
Dr. Jennifer Lair Anhut. Dr. Christopher Collins Ballantyne. Dr. Taylor Jason Bergman. Dr. Jonathan Russell Brock. Dr. Jeremiah Lewis Bryant. Dr. Robin Eileen Bride. Dr. Brittany Nicole Chandler. Dr. Lindsay Hope Cochran. Dr. Edward Alexander Connor. Dr. Kristen Blake Corcoran. Dr. Samuel Robert De Victor. Dr. Charles Couch Farmer. Dr. Taylor Thomas Falk. Dr. Constance Renee Franklin. Dr. David Adrian Garcia. Dr. Michael Warren Gower. Dr. Kelsey Elizabeth Garriso. Dr. Min Hang. Dr. Caitlin Brooke Harper. Dr. Leslie Sixton Hilding. Dr. Stephen Donald Hotz. Dr. Smeet Jayesh Jaini. Dr. Gary Allen Jordan. Dr. Christopher Lee Kiker. Dr. Joseph Kimoni Kanothia. Dr. Jacob Allen Kirkpatrick. Dr. Kyle Mitchell Lawson. Dr. Michael Todd Lowry. Dr. Laura Catherine Lowry. Dr. Jacob Andrew Matthews. Dr. D.L.L. Meyer. Dr. Nicholas Lloyd Morrow. Dr. Jennifer Aduga Onyarimba. Dr. Pooja Vijay Parikh. Dr. Akash Ashwin Kumar Patel. Dr. Sheetal Patel. Dr. Kelly Margaret Redlinger. Dr. Edward Richard Mixon Robinson. Dr. Rachel Camille Saporito. Dr. Coley E. Meyer-Shink. Dr. Megan Elizabeth Simmons. Dr. Sugandha Singh. Dr. Zachary Tyler Skipper. Dr. Joanna Jacqueline Smith. Dr. Lauren Elaine Spradley. Dr. Henry St. George Teaford III. Dr. Anisha Thabani. Dr. Devin Rochelle Toby. Dr. Matthew Nigel Varn. Dr. Matthew Davis Warren. Dr. Naomi Ruth Washington. Dr. Lauren Elizabeth Weigel. Dr. Gail Ann Hendricks Wright.
Dr. Raymond McGuire, Senior Vice President and Chief Medical Officer at Memorial Health and Senior Associate Dean for Clinical Affairs at the Savannah campus, will lead our medical doctors in the Hippocratic Oath. Dr. McGuire.
The oath of the medical class of 2017 is the modern version of the Hippocratic Oath. Will the new doctors of medicine please rise for the reading of this oath? You will find it on page 20 of the commencement program. We would also like to invite all physicians present, whether practicing or retired, who have taken this oath or a similar oath in the past, to join our new graduates as they commit themselves and we recommit ourselves to the practice of medicine and to the service of humankind. Please read in unison with me. I swear to fulfill to the best of my ability and judgment this covenant. I will respect the hard-won scientific gains of those physicians in whose steps I walk, and gladly share such knowledge as is mine with those who are to follow. I will apply for the benefits of the sick all measures which are required, avoiding those twin traps of overtreatment and therapeutic nihilism. I will remember that there is art to medicine as well as science, and that warmth, sympathy, and understanding may outweigh the surgeon's knife or the chemist's drug. I will not be ashamed to say I know not, nor will I fail to call in my colleagues when the skills of another are needed for a patient's recovery. I will respect the privacy of my patients, for their problems are not disclosed to me that the world may know. Most especially must I tread with care in matters of life and death. If it is given to me to save a life, all thanks. But it may also be within my power to take a life. This awesome responsibility must be faced with great humbleness and awareness of my own frailty. And above all, I must not play at God. I will remember that I do not treat a fever chart, a cancerous growth, but a sick human being whose illness may affect the person's family and economic stability. My responsibility includes these related problems if I am to care adequately for the sick. I will prevent disease whenever I can, for prevention is preferable to cure. I will remember that I remain a member of society with special obligations to all my fellow human beings, those sound of mind and body, as well as the infirm. If I do not violate this oath, may I enjoy life and art, respected while I live, and remembered with affection thereafter. May I always act so as to preserve the finest traditions of my calling, and may I long experience the joy of healing those who seek my help. You may be seated.
Congratulations. At this time, it is my privilege to recognize the medical doctors who will fulfill military commitments. Dr. Taylor Falk, Dr. Daniel Foster, Dr. Caitlin Harper, Dr. Benjamin Long, Dr. Naomi Washington, and Dr. Annalie Wittermeyer, please stand. Thank you. It is also fitting to recognize that the accomplishments of these graduates would not be possible without the support from family, friends, and others. Will all the graduates please rise and take this opportunity to thank those who stood by you on your path, on this path to your accomplishment. Please stand now and thank your family and friends. Thank you. Now, family and friends, faculty and staff, please join me in celebrating and congratulating all the graduates for their great accomplishments.
Dr. Jennifer Nunn Tarbutton, a 2001 graduate of Mercer University School of Medicine and a pediatric physician in Sandersville, will now bring greetings on behalf of the Medical School Alumni Association.
It is with pleasure that I stand before you today as a graduate of the Mercer University School of Medicine and as a member of the School of Medicine Alumni Association. As my career in the medical profession has progressed, so has my appreciation for the medical education that I received at Mercer. I know that the education you received here is the key to your professional future. How you use that key is up to you. On behalf of all the members of the Alumni Association, I wish to extend our congratulations to you on this special day in your life. All of the members of the Alumni Association extend to you best wishes for a productive and happy professional life. We stand ready to assist you in achieving your professional goals. At this time, I would like to officially declare each of you a member of the Mercer University School of Medicine Alumni Association. I am certain that the association has gained new strength with your membership, and we look forward to working with you in enhancing the activities of the association. Congratulations and good luck.
Well, this has been a great day. We've had much to celebrate. I'm grateful that all of you could be here. You've honored these graduates with your presence. I'm also grateful for our speaker, Dr. Peter Scardino. Thank you very much, Dr. Scardino, for honoring us with your presence as well. There will be a reception immediately following the ceremony in Heritage Hall for the graduates and members of their families and friends. I hope you'll join us for that reception. Now, would everyone please rise for the benediction by Dr. Elder. After the benediction, please remain in place until after the recession.
As you prepare to go from this place, may you go as God's people who are prepared to do something wonderful within His world. May you go as a people who will fulfill your mission and your purpose in every possible way. You will bless patients who will depend upon you. You'll inspire communities where you live. You'll practice medicine and will change the world one life at a time. So now may the Lord bless you and keep you and make His face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up His countenance upon you and give you His peace in your going out, in your coming in, this day forth and forever. Amen.